Good evening. Tonight we are celebrating the second Sunday of Ordinary Time and the beginning of Heritage Week at DeSales University. Heritage Week is a way of remembering and honoring St. Francis de Sales' life and work as Christian humanist, doctor of the church, and patron of journalists. Be sure to check out the events planned throughout the week. Our presider this evening is Father Keith Laskowski, the 1995 graduate of DeSales University and administrator at Our Lady of Mercy Parish in Easton, Pennsylvania.
A couple questions for you. Who here wants to be holy? Let me ask. Pretty big kind of group here. Let me ask this question. Who here wants to be a saint? Let me ask you this question. Who here wants to go to heaven? Okay. Great. This is all an experiment I always do. They're the same question, really. They're the same question. And I always get that, who wants to be holy? You get a couple. And then who wants to go to heaven? Well, everyone in heaven is a saint. And everyone who's a saint is holy. What does that mean? A saint is a person who lives eternally in a relationship with God, the Holy Trinity. To be holy, a classic definition, is to be in union with God, to be connected to God. And heaven, or eternal life, is a word we use to describe this relationship, this union, this communion with God. This relationship begins at our baptism, but it needs to be continually developed and nurtured. Pope Francis recently wrote in a document called the Gospel of Joy. He challenged us, all of us. I'd just like to share this with you briefly. He says this: I invite all Christians everywhere at this very moment to a renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ, or at least an openness to letting Him encounter them. I ask all of you to do this unfailingly each day. The Lord does not disappoint those who take this risk. Whenever we take a step towards Jesus, we come to realize that He is already there, waiting for us with open arms. Pope Francis calls and challenges us to a renewed personal encounter. We've been baptized, we have a relationship with the Lord, and that relationship that needs to be developed, we need to have an encounter. And that's the challenge, and I'd like to reflect on this. Your presence here today and your desire to go to heaven at least implicitly suggests that you desire a renewed personal encounter with Jesus Christ. Do you wish to grow in your relationship with God? Yes. Okay. All right, great, perfect. The patron of this university, St. Francis de Sales, that was his whole life. His whole desire was to develop, to foster, to inspire, and to be an example of this most vital relationship. It was often thought that to become holy or to be a saint, you had to be a priest or a sister. But the truth is, and this is what St. Francis de Sales' insight and was a motivation for his writing, he says he wanted to show that holiness, a real encounter with the living God, is possible to everyone, regardless of their state in life. Today, the world needs faith-filled scientists, ethical accountants, creative actors, truthful journalists. Sorry if I missed your major. The introduction to the devout life is jam-packed with lots of wisdom to help foster and grow in our relationship with Christ. It helps us to experience and know the love of God.